Hey everyone, I'm Joshua Orro, the Mustang Prince, and welcome to Mustang Prince Orro Reports. Now, last time, we took a look at the fourth live-action Chipmunk movie, and, oh boy, was it bad. But today, I'd like to talk about a cartoon that I never knew about when I was a kid, and that cartoon was Jem and The Holograms. Now, Jem is an American animated television series that ran from 1985 to 1988. The series is about music company owner Jerrica Benton, her singer alter ego Jem, her band The Holograms, and their adventures involving glamour, fashion, and fame. I was first introduced to the cartoon back in 2012 while watching Huey Toonmore and Paranormal Rob's top 10 80s cartoon intros. And they did say that the show was 10 layers of awful, and that nothing from the show is worth sticking with you. But what are my thoughts on the show? Well, while watching it on Netflix in 2013 and getting the full series DVD sometime later, I realized that the show did have some ups and downs. The downs were some of the drama, including the fact that Jerrica was cheating on Rio with herself. And it was worse when she didn't even tell Rio her secret at the beginning. Also, the antagonist band, the Misfits, caused so much vandalization and attempts of murder several times throughout the show without getting arrested. But the ups were some of the adventures that Jerrica and her band went on, and the show felt very flashy, energetic, and so wonderfully 80s. Plus, the show did have amazing musical numbers. Plus, it did give a tear-jerking happy ending for a little girl named Bonnie. Also, sometimes the show made me believe that it was the inspiration for Hannah Montana. However, what I have to blog today makes the whole animated series look like a masterpiece in comparison. So, let's get this over with already. Released on October 23rd, 2015, the movie is Jem and The Holograms. Now let's start with the plot. Teenager Jerrica is an extremely shy but talented singer and songwriter whose dreams of stardom come true when she forms the group Jem and The Holograms. Other members include her younger sister Kimber on keyboards, drummer Shayna, and bassist Aja. With help from Rio, the son of the CEO of Starlight Music, the four young band members find their own voice while taking the world by storm. So, my thoughts? This movie is worse than The Last Airbender. It is worse than the Transformers movies. Heck, it's even worse than any 2014. No wonder this movie got pulled from theaters. But let's move on to Mustang notes. Now, with the recent successes of the live-action reboots of G.I. Joe and Transformers, Hasbro was rumored to be considering a live-action film with Universal Studios. Hasbro and Universal had signed a six-film contract in 2010, or a new incarnation of the animated series. On March 20th, 2014, a live-action motion picture adaptation of Jem and The Holograms was announced, to be directed by John M. Chu. Chu had said that he had spent 10 years developing the film with producer Jason Blum. The film's music producer, Scooter Braun, stated that he drew influence from his work on the career of Justin Bieber. Yeesh. It was later revealed that the original Jem writer, Christy Marks, was not involved in any part of the film's production. In response to her having no part or consultation on the film, Marks defended Chu's sense of ambition for the project via Facebook and has left it to the fans to decide whether or not the project was a small decision. Principal photography began on April 22, 2014 in Van's News. Later, on May 19th, shooting was underway in Los Angeles. Shooting ended on May 24, 2014. Now, in my opinion, this movie does not even feel like Jem at all, and there are several reasons why. For example, like the 2014 Annie film that I blogged 2 years ago, this film is set in modern day, and to me, it takes away the 80s feel that the show had. And since this movie sometimes features video footage, including several fan cameos, to me, they are a big distraction from the film's plot. Then there's the fact of how this film portrays Synergy. In the show, Synergy was a highly sophisticated AI computer and hologram projector designed by Jerrica and Kimber's father, Emmett. It was designed to be an ultimate audiovisual entertainment synthesizer. But in the movie, Synergy is now a cute little robot who's capable of projecting video images in the form of highly advanced holograms. And by the looks of it, Synergy almost reminds me of BB-8 from Star Wars Episode 7. And my final reason to why this movie sucks is the fact that the villain band, known as the Misfits, don't appear in this movie until the end. But, on the positive side, the Los Angeles landmarks that the girls go to throughout the movie are pretty cool, due to the fact that I was born there. But sometimes their adventure is pretty reckless and crazy, especially during the scene where Jerrica and the band have to break into Starlight Enterprises to get her earrings back. Now, here's where we come to the songs and music. Now, to me, some of these songs are okay, but most of them just feel unoriginal. Some of the songs that I do like in this are Youngblood, We Got Heart, and Life at the Party. Anyway, now that we're done with Mustang notes, let's move on to the cast. Now, let's begin with Jerrica Benton, aka Jem, played by Audrey Peoples. Now, in the show, Jerrica not only was the manager of Starlight Music, as well as being a singer and songwriter, but she was also a foster mom who looked after several orphan girls. In the movie, her role is pretty similar. I mean, she's an insecure teenager, still coping with the loss of her father at an early age. She also keeps her music and songwriting to herself until she and her sisters make a homemade music video together. However, the only thing that I have to give Jerrica credit for is her relationship with her sisters, and she doesn't want to be separated from them at all. Jerrica's sister Kimber is played by Stephanie Scott, who had a small role in Wreck-It Ralph. In the show, Kimber is the keyboardist and main songwriter. She tends to be a bit immature and lets her emotions control her actions. She has run away and rebelled several times during the series, and sometimes still acts very much like a little girl, even though she is only 3 years younger than Jerrica. She's a hopeless romantic and always has guys falling for her. In the movie, Kimber is totally obsessed with YouTube and social media. Aja is played by Haley Kikyo, who played Velma in the Scooby-Doo live-action prequels. Now, Aja is an Asian American who moved in with the Bentons at the age of 11 after her parents died. Jerrica and Kimber disliked her at first, but she eventually grew on them. After Jerrica's band begun, Aja became lead guitarist. In the movie, Aja has done some questionable things in the past. She mentions having been in juvenile hall and that she can't go back. And she is a bit of a kleptomaniac. Shayna is played by Aurora Perrineau, who had an appearance in the 2016 sci-fi romance film Passengers. But I'll get to that soon enough. Anyway, Shayna is the backup vocalist, bass guitarist, and former drummer of the band. She's also a hard-working woman focused on her fashion designs and music. She's also extremely insecure and is deeply affected by people's criticisms and insults. And she tends to be shyer and more withdrawn than the other holograms. In the movie, Shayna is pretty much the same as her cartoon counterpart, except for the fact that her hobby has actually brought her a bit of trouble with her sisters, as she sometimes takes clothes without permission and modifies them to her own liking. Next we have Raymond, played by Ryan Guzman. In the show, Rio was Jerrica's stagehand and boyfriend, but here he's Erica's son. At first, he appears to be a bit bossy and dictating a series of ground rules that Jerrica and her band must obey as long as they are under his care. This soon changes, however, and he shows his true friendly and positive personality. These traits don't distract him with his duties at Starlight, as he is very mature for his age. Since the moment he met Jerrica, a spark ignites between both of them. Finally, we come to Erica Raymond, played by Juliette Lewis, whom I only remember from National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Now, Erica is a female version of Eric Raymond from the show. In the show, Eric not only was a man who wanted to see Starlight Enterprises for himself, but he was also the Misfits manager. Here, however, Erica has been, in the music business for a long time, having learned every trick possible in the industry. She's also admired and hated at the same time, and she won't stop at anything in order to fulfill her ambitions, no matter who she has to step on along the way. The most unforgivable thing Erica does in this is to have Jerrica sign a solo contract, which hurts her sisters badly. Now let's move on to my final words. Overall, this movie is truly outrageously bad, and it's a horrible way to introduce your kids to Jem. The plot and setting doesn't feel like the original cartoon, the characters are bland and uninteresting, the villain Erica is completely flawed, and most of the songs are just unoriginal. My rating? 11%. So, if you'd like to introduce your kids to Jem and The Holograms, show them the original animated series, not this poorly written and poorly casted piece of garbage that isn't worthy of the name Jem. Well, that's it for today, everybody. Be sure to join me again for my next blog, and hopefully it will make me feel better after going through this. Mustang power.